So let's see, where were we? I actually did not finish the last PowerPoint, so I just have a few more slides.
Again, Korangi tanda di slide kaji tanda trail la di yus sum shiji tanda zoma susong dinge kaji.
So we finished talking about the example of the fish, but now we're going to jump and talk about for a few minutes about plants.
Ta ani nganzu ki nyada devi ki thoni ni judi ani nganzu shue de tu sabares. Ta dine ma ani yang chigi jushi shemba ji kan ka pe che ani tsishin da devi kan ya ani kama kaji du sinema shue yins.
So even if you think about previous experiments that you've done with plants and germination, putting them in different types of soil, the question is for all of you, do plants show circadian rhythms? Yes, no, and why?
Chezanta dile sambala nganzu dingi gi ani tarje nano la pena chachane medo devada ani dribumi da medo ya tsishin ya mimbata ani chigi yan saja gi pigi jibsha saja manda tege to ni mimbata ya kigi wa du tele shib ne ke je sheba yimba ina ani tsishin du tele ya an tjun kondre ji yoba di tungu yo mare se da di tiba de number zur chadi gi yores tiwa.
And anyone can answer.
Thank you, yes, all of them are saying yes, the plant shows they do have circadian rhythm.
Excellent, excellent. And yes, I would agree 100%, right? If you think photosynthesis, if we think of photosynthesis, well, photosynthesis requires sunlight, right? It requires other things, but one of the most important things is sunlight.
Ani di winjuru debjo chewala nganzu to ani goyage chidanda mangbu jorte yimba ina dinano le goyage ani chajen ke chejo chid kar chade gi yore la yimba ina nganzu nyime we goyade chade gi yor was.
What is really interesting is that in the absence of sunlight, one of the portions of photosynthesis will not function.
Chezandile zambala ani tonda chi karcha yungu yore sidu zambala kesi nyime gi da nyime we meba dawji gi tinde gi nedangal keba yimba ina ani mege winju seju yungu yagi ani da chen masun chelen dawji orwa tinde chi gi tonne lega majingi chandu gi yores.
So we could, look at this in a little bit more detail. Again, don't worry too much about everything that is happening here.
Chezanda dine ma nganzo yanju tis chig bige ani nizuma shibra kanan judu gis shibra kanan judu disambala yan di ani paringol yede bige nizu du tede ani shibjin thawa sama number choge tinde yan chik nge ge tinde ani nge matu tinde ge tude na go mares.
What I want you all to understand is that yes, the processes of a plant, they're mostly regulated through circadian clocks.
Regulated what?
So a lot of the processes in plants are regulated with circadian clocks.
So digi during the chazan de tandangan zupena chashana ani chegi tuzugi ani tangzi jigala ani chedigi de bad chadigi ores.
So for example, we have two different types of proteins, right? One protein here, one protein here. And they're both regulated either by temperature or the presence of light.
Chezanda nganzo dinano number so kare thondegi yore sili sambala nganzo ane tinze ni yungu yo da number thongu do was tinze ni yores ta tinze duzo thede ani tangzi chenge zo kare chadegi yore la ba yimba ina tinze duzo tangzi chenge de ani thanda chadru chi che antene ani we yume chi che on di gala chadegi yores.
And the presence of, the changes in temperature, the presence of light will be regulated with these proteins in a clock, and the output will be an important process for the survival and metabolism and other functions within the body.
Chezanda dilodi sambala ani tindegi ani chadrugi juwada ani we yemi ki chen la tenne ani tanda nga zu pena tinze dawjin ba ina korangi da nangi ani chigi chuzu de maso ne dilin juwa 대기 유학 테이블 텐테네 아니 간주 미기긴 타메기 아니 tumde dawd kharcha du yor sidu sambala ani chiki ganju ki pena se juye imba inare te membegi anchik kharchugore ta u tonle imba inare da dinal mangbush tidwa o dunju chede ni cha yong yor da dil yuwa the da dunju yong yor es.
So for example, the circadian clocks that we have here can be regulated, or it can regulate things such as photosynthesis.
제자 다 페나 차시나 디기 튠진다 우진바이나 코란 땅지 제투바지다 땅 코란 땅지 가리 제투 요레스도 삼발라 디기 아니 간주 윈주 세조 용당 요라 칸데 용구 예메 요르바 오 딜리아니 땅지 제투 요레스.
The clock can also control germination.
제자 아니 딘데기 튠진 디기 단도 땅지 셴바지 가리 제기 요레 레도 삼발라 아니 간주 체기 메도기 뉴군 비에 요르바 온 튠졸리에 땅지 체기 요르슬람나 디기 요레스.
It can also control tissue elongation. So once the plant comes out of the ground, it's going to grow, it's going to elongate.
안 단도디 칸리아 코란게 직 당지 가르치기 요레스도 삼발라 아니 지신도 제차도 삼발라다 콘조게 풍주 요라 풍주도 저 체데 양치기야 나르게 유야게 아니 링르도야다 저티네 망부종데기 요르바 안 dun조 체데 당지 체기 요레스.
Once the plant matures, it's going to have flowers.
제자다 지신도 저 체데 야 민사도 삼발라 아니 테네 아니 가르차 용거레스도 삼발라 아니 간조 메도 아니 미야다 시야도 저 체데 차데기 요레스 메도 시바.
So you can see that in this diagram, this clock is regulating these proteins that are sort of controlling all these really important mechanisms for the function of the plant.
제자다 넘버 2 디나라 가르 통투고 요레스도 삼발라 투지 딘데지기 스타 추제 난기 추제 소도지르와 디기 아니 가르스고레 단 넘버 디 칠로랑 아주 델 아니 직 첼레 린다마나 마부 시비지도와 다 피게 지신네 임바이나 메도 두즈린다마나 레도와 다 디나노라 직 로마 간조 메도 미바다 린다마나 마부 시비지도와 다 간다 dunzu 체데 사마 어디 난기 튠진 디기 아니 용구여 데바직 당지 책디기여 데바직 어디 차디기여 레스.
So after seeing all these examples in bacteria, animals, plants, we can go back to how we began and understand that the circadian clocks are essential for all living things.
단 넘버 2 간조 아니 가르 통요레스도 삼발라 당 간조 틴데기 아니 펜스에 페나 차샤나 아니 체기 부차기 나노레 아니 냐레 다가나 신직 두주 나노 통소하스 다 두주 테디 간조 야파 차시 개바인 바이나 디치도 삼발라 다 홀 오르가니즘 다 제니 니리 차산이야 다 튼준 컨트리게 오다디 개침부 임바디 차데기요레스.
Good. So this was going to end our first session. So let me quickly switch to the next session. We already
제자다 디 가르차기 요레스도 삼발라 아니 간조 아니 초된 당부기 아니 롭센디 주디베선도 오지레스 다 디네마 간조 아니 초된 200기 롭센 조르와 오딜리아 아는 고츠네 도시는 조야인스.
Okay, and we're going to switch to our next talk. 1 second here. Oh. Stop. So now that we understand really the importance of circadian clocks, we're going to spend the remaining time of today learning how we can measure a circadian clock in our bodies.
제자다 딜레디 삼발라 당 안주 아니 다 중줄 하메기 니무티게 나노라 아니 간조 조 가리자레 시디 삼발라 아니 ngaran주 수부 나안기 둔준 콘주 예데바도 조체디 아니 간조 천제 간데 책임 바시데 디골 장야레스.
It was interesting because when we did the activity earlier today, all of you put your answers. One group put pulse, the heart pulse.
One group go what?
Yeah, one group chose heart pulse for the endogenous cycle.
다 디나노라 아니 넘버 2기 단징 안주 아니 루가기 레가지테 임바 루가 레가테신 주 디게기 루가 치기나노네 아니 단다 디유기 단당 안주 원 페준치 가르랑샤라나 아니 안주 니기 파제조르와 어디 아니 단당 안주 든준 코르던 데베기 펜주지 랑샤스.
And I found that very, very interesting because the activity or part of the activity will be learning how to take our pulse.
Tele sambala dati intro kushibijires di kharis sambala nganzu ani jahangi jurmingi chashegi nalo ala ani zoji kharcha de gyores di sambala ani chigi nyingi ani phase jorwa oda dunju the dan ne ani nganzu tanda tanda tunjim khondru gi ani chenje che jorwa di cha de gyores.
So putting everything together that we learned so far. Go ahead.
다 단다 봐도 아니 넘버 쪽에 아니 nganzu da nizu chama tone 단다 봐도 넘버 쪽 nganzu 카리 카리 신요레 장요레 라바 임바 이나스.
Most living things, all living things in our planet have some type of 24-hour cycle.
제자 델레드 잠발라 아니 제딩이 니리다 제딩 탐제 로리아 페제 아니 추제 니슈자시기 아니 tunjun 코드단 제베리 아니 지그여 데바지 nganzu 하고요 레스타 간다.
If we take us humans as an example, we can have two different things that we can measure: heart rate and the sleep-wake cycle.
제자다 딜르드 잠발라 페나차시나 ngaranson roa midawji kana chu penswe ki yungche di tunjun khondri danjebege ani kamishiba imba ina chigdi kharcha de gyo residi zambala ani nyingi phasidi che ani shembadi ni khuse ge khoji jo ran khoji ondi cha de gyo res.
There are other things such as hormone secretion that are also driven by cycles, but those are not very easy to measure.
제자 다 딜르드 잠발라 페나차샤나 ani nganzu chigi mingze loye di rindamana mangbu shiwi jorwa mingze subu nalongi ani mingbu de mingze loye de duzu chede ya ani tanda nganzu tunjin khondri gi ani thang shawa dobji cha de gyo res.
So for today's remaining time, we're going to spend time learning how to measure our pulse rate and our sleep-wake cycle.
제자 아니 다리 nganzu ani tuzugi tone yomba yimba ina ani nganzu kharikala che yin sidu zambala ani nyingi phaje de senje khande chegu yeme chigna ani ni segugi ani khuzegi khoju de khande senje chegu yeme odi kana dusin jains.
All right, so this brings us to our first activity for this session, which is the heart rate and awake activity.
다 딜르드 잠발라 다디 아니 nganzu teringi lumtun digi ani chego thomanda udi gan len dugu yores ani chego thomade khare sidu zambala tanda nganzu ani nyingi phaje je teda tene ani chigi ni khoba da sebigi khoju jorwa odi chenji che de cha de yores.
So I have a question for all of you. Many of you know, or have you ever taken your pulse either with your neck or your wrist?
아니 네 교란소를 넘버즈 삼발라 트바지스 아니 교란소기 아니 단당한조 아니 닝게 파제 간데 로그 유메 단당한조 찌기다 디따기 요르와 근데 아니 넘버조 아니 주유에 하고 유에스 yes.
Okay, so
yes, this
has done this before can help others who maybe have not done it before.
제자디 아니 넘버조 싱기 요바 이마이나 아니 딩엘이야 넘버조 아니 제명에 딘데 요바나 두주텔 파 두시네 샤로 슈지 아니 간데 제구 요메디 로고치네 디고레스.
Okay, so there are two different sort of classical ways of measuring our pulse. One is through the neck and one is through the wrist.
제자 다 딜레드 삼발라 직 수중기 토네 아니 디 아니 첸제랑기 랑가 나마수는 니요레스 지 가르차 되기 요레스드 삼발라 아니 간주 깨닌제 직다 아니 직디 아니 락시 요사 조르와 온티네 인제 디 차되기 요레스.
So I want all of us to try either of those two methods.
제자 다 교란소 가르난구 요레드 삼발라 아니 나버조 참메 아니 디니니 강론 찍네 다 닝기 파진제 조르와 딩나 나고 요스니 카노직니 야메나 케닌 제기 요바이나레 야메나 락시니 제기 요바이나레 디니 카노직 넘버 참메기디 쳤다나고 요스.
I personally have always found it easier to take my pulse through the neck.
제자 게임 코랑기 게임원에 때바 임바이나 아니 지 코랑기 디 닝기 파질레 조로아디 아니 케 요사디네 누시네 디 제기 요스.
For either way, either through the wrist or the neck works.
다 제자 디니니 나노네 라지 삼야나 케 칸데 체나다 디니니나 치기나는 체네 디기 요스 넘버죠.
Okay, so let's try it out. I want all of us to take our two fingers now. You want to take your index and your middle finger, not the thumb.
제자다 number 2 di chenje chidu sambala ane ngazu kharche gu yore sidu sambala jugu ta kima da ngazu thangbu jini yo dini ni do sine chere ma do sine thebung gi do sine chere ma da thebung pyoju ta yo mares di kabla.
The reason why we don't use the thumb is because there are a lot of large arteries and veins in the thumb, and we could get a wrong signal from the thumb.
제자 딜레드 sambala pena chashina ngazu di chemugo yu jimsen khare sidu sambala ngazu thebung yo sala ane chigin phagsa chimbu da dinde mangbu shi yu sambala ane ngazu dunzu chede ane chigi pigela shanga dunzu chimbu yu sambala tagda pigin juma tu yungu yo arwa di chagi yores.
So the things that we're going to need to practice measuring our pulse are the following.
아니 ता ngazu di ani chenji chidu sambala ani ngazu goyagi ani chala khare khare ime duzu chede tanda ngazu di shamu duzu chede res.
So before we start, we need a stopwatch, perhaps a friend to help us get our measurements, pen and paper to put our numbers down.
제자 다 number 2 ani ngoma jungene tambu khare yore sidu sambala ngazu ani tuga ge chuze jugu yores cheni kyoranzo rogba chigi thone ani da ngoma jungol da di rogba chene yungu yorwas.
So before we begin the activity, let's take 2 fingers and find our pulse either on the neck. You want to reach the carotid artery here.
Tele sambala da number 2 ani kyoranzo di nzuguni gi che nzuguni kale ya du sine di wo do ajile tananga za farza de zute di yores di che du sine che adres.
So I want the whole room, and I'm watching you to try this, to start trying to get your pulse either on your neck or your wrist. Your wrist also works.
제자다 number 2 samagi da di ane koran kyoranzo di nangi yoba di ane korangi di gugu sta pena chachana de nangi yoba imba inare yamana de nangi yoba ina di.
So for a few minutes, and we're all going to try it. Try either method, spend a few minutes trying each way to see which one you find most comfortable. We'll do this for 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes, okay. Da number 2 khari de yoba ina dinini nano di che di ins kanda da ngazu tuze kamanga stangi ins di kana. Okay.
So yeah, we can just start playing out within your groups, start doing it.
Da di number 2 ruka nano du sine ani di na den go chu shana ya du sun go chu ro chis.
All right. And then you can just let me know when people are comfortable and they know.
So they measure heart rate in 1 minute.
We'll do the steps afterwards. I just want everybody to be comfortable in finding their pulse first before we do any measurements.
Ale tanda number so ani ngoram di ngusigi simju di ngoram mazungele zo di tanda di ne di ra to wachis phaza jorwa di kwaye me.
So for now, just find the proper spot where you find a really good pulse. Don't worry about the
da di gane number so kwaye na di ni na phaza kwaye me di ra to wachida kwaye ngudo.
Okay, and let me know when everybody's comfortable.
Ma tamu tsiya marda tanda tange di ne di rawachida ani jero gengola gelan koran tishi jaus. Okay, usa rang mindo.
Remember not to press too hard because you may be blocking the artery and you won't get a pulse.
제가 나버서 투린 수바지 가르고 요리스를 삼발라 계시될 슈첨부 시비지 nem바이나 계르 슈첨부 시비지 nem바이나 파자데라고 말했어. 잠부 제제 라바창 치고 있어.
Everybody doing? Everybody good? So how many people are raised? How many people are using their neck? Are more people using?
Number so kene ni tanda di range 가져요. 자 파자. 파자 라서 number so 삼에 라서. Yes, most of them found the artery on the neck.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier, right? I happen to have really big hands, so finding my pulse on my wrist sometimes is not very easy. But my neck, I get it in 1 second.
제가 딜레드 잠발라 어느 게나 코란 주고 첨부 제 비기 락지 간다 깬 첨부는 깨디 남사 라기도 세기도 호랑 가지디.
Okay. So we're comfortable. We know how to find our pulse. So now we're going to measure our pulse, right? And there are different ways of doing it.
단 넘버 2 아니 교란 쪽인 파사데 라차로 왔어. 단 파사데 라차도 삼발하다 가지고 딘 파사데 천지체에 인스 간데 체국 예메디.
Okay. So you can count for a whole minute, although this doesn't usually work because we can lose the numbers and we have to stay really focused for a whole minute.
Number 2 test chigi di kame manane shuru chia. Ko drade sebu mewa chigi di gan la kyuzu di kame na sama di lela ko tung mi ya. Yeah, can you so they once they found the artery and they should proceed doing the
Yeah. So what I find easier is to start your stopwatch or your phone, just start the timer for 20 seconds and just count the pulses in 20 seconds.
Okay. Chizan dilade sambala ani number sogi ta dim phasa didi chid sambala ani kacha nishu ginanola. Kacha nishu nanola ani phasa jorwa. Ondi thanga chini des kaman kacha nishu nanola kacha yungudu tas.
And the number that you get in 20 seconds, you multiply it by 3. And that's per minute.
Chizan dilade sambala kacha nishu nanola kacha ra yume digi ani dab somno jushawaina ni ngazu kacha tuju nanola kama chig nanola kacha yume di ra yungu yorwa. Odi ani number suti sonro chis.
All right. Or you can count for 30 seconds instead of 20 seconds. Count for 30 seconds and multiply times 2.
Ya mena number so di kaja sumju thambala na che di dabni re june digio resta kamachik bed khona mana che.
Okay. So either one, 20 seconds times 3 or 30 seconds times 2, this will give you a minimum pulse.
Na kyoran so ani karina na digdo kaja nishu cheba di dosin nangi imba inare kaja sumju cheba namgi nangi imba inare dinin karina dina na digdos.
Okay. So now you get your number in per minute and you repeat it. You repeat the whole process 3 times.
Cheza number so dinegi ani lega de chesa be jeli ya tumde jiragir was tumde de ra chodi samba yan digi gyunundi yan jo chadu cha sum thamba ches. Chadu cha sum.
So why don't we in our groups choose a friend, choose a partner, and start measuring for a minute and do it many times.
Cheza dilodi sambala ruga nanola suzugi rogba che ne ani dusine chenje kama chigni chigina kama chigna chigina dusje pazo ne ngazu tuje dang is.
Okay, so we'll spend maybe 10-15 minutes just repeating the process a few times. You should get 5 or maybe 6 repeats of your pulse.
Cheza dilodi sambala ngazu ani kama nishchunga stangres dilodi sambala choranso ani miri gajedi ani ninge paze loyagi da kamanga to stand in the resere kajela.
All right, so start practicing with your friends and practicing getting your numbers.
Cheza nabazo choranso chogole ya dusini pa ani jongdara inare choda chigi che antene ma tangto de pagi ches.
Okay. So we can get maybe that 10-15 mark and then come back and continue the activity.
similar pulse somewhere here at the ear. So if we do measure at this region, will it be the same as measuring at the heart
Absolutely.
rate, pulse rate?
There are many different ways. You could also do it on your foot. Some people can get their pulse from their feet. So if you find other regions that you could find the pulse, you can try it. And you could even compare, do it on your neck and your ear and compare, see how the numbers change.
Okay. Number so any one day digiyores ta chana kashi ke kambala di jeni di chigiyores ta kanda jesa mambu yores kawan jeni digiyores ta kanda inju. So do they need to put their results into the exercise document?
Yes. For now, they can just put the numbers down either on paper, and I'm going to put the link.
Okay. Yeah, they do have the links. Yeah. Number so tanda di changdo duzu te di shugu la mati any jail tanda ngazu pige na chegu chisagi any shugu chigyor ba o din na palu ya res.
So for now, it's just them trying to repeat it several times, see if there are any differences across their different trials.
Okay. Then number two, tanda di any jadu yandu cha khashi che jadu yandu cha khashi che chen di na yang jig man tumba yungu du mindu man dinde any number two sipsi na ro chis.
Is everybody getting their numbers? Is everybody able to find their pulse?
Number two, tanda two maso two sa swe. Sama two swe, chin chemba two swe. Everyone, raswe, sama raswe. And roba khaji da di chasang che sarwa. Okay, yes, they do got, they have got some numbers, yes.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do, my friend, is I'm going to put a file on the chat. It's called pulse activity, and you can open it.
Okay, that number so any tanda choran solia tanda nganzu di trazi jorwa chidang gain koran sin tanda yigi tangsa dina tang yung sigdo ine ya da kanda dina no la ani parza ani nyingi parze gin jesa gi chi yore o di any khachero chi ste di trazi dir tangana di o din duwa di trazi di su ko bi chi di session di.
This is the same activity that is on the Google page link. It's just a different file in Excel format, which may be easier to work with.
Yeah. Dile di sambala da tanda nganzu Google gi ta tazid nyam do yueshan judi da chigwa jijan res kanda di link din tu che kha che shana ta ga di da chigwa cha yung go res.
So for example, let me go back. Let me share. Let me see, where am I? Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how this file is set up. So let me share my screen. So this is what the file looks like, right? Right. So here, for example, we have repeat 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 different repeats that you're going to do for your pulse. And here are the different numbers that you could do over several minutes, right? So 78. This is what I did some days ago. So 78, 84, and 82.
Chezanda dile zambala pena chashana number so chadu yandu dinde cha sum che yo bayna tangbu ne gap su peke ani yang phaje kadiresha an niba gaps kandiresha sumbe kazere se sunro dinde dabuji tyong yo was.
And then once you put your 3 numbers, your 3 trials, you get an average. This is automatic. So once you put your 3 numbers, you get a new average.
다 number 저 디기 아니 숨디 아니 제니 숨기 나노기 아니 균돔디 아니 찬염기 돌마 괴체네 아니 디치구요 그래서 디치 잡로치 찌기 돌네.
And then you will notice on the bottom, we have another set of numbers. We have day 1, 8 a.m., 4 p.m., 12 a.m., midnight. Day 2, 8 a.m., 4 p.m., midnight.
제자 아니 안주디 파쇼델리아 아니 ngwe직 나로라 카르티오레 라와에나 닝 당부기 쇼게 추제 제바 닝 당부기 아니 닝군 추제 시바 아니 닝 당부기 아니 센 추제 중니 드네 아니 닝니베기 제바다 시바 아니 다가란 센 세무 추제 중니 세제 딘데 조레스.
Right. So then once you get your average, you start plugging your average. And here's how the activity is going to run. You're going to do this throughout different times of the day.
다 디네마 간주디 찬염디라 용고요. 그래서 지난 넘버서 딩예고에 가르치기 요래서 삼발라 디 제야디 아니 간주 니마치기 아니 지기 다 니마 간장기 되는 아니 마두시네 이게 투수 고샤도 어디 나노 니메 강 나노 나야디 차디 요래스.
So for example, this average from these 3 repeats, right? I did it at 4 p.m. So this 81 comes from here.
제자 딜레드 잠발라 페나 차샤바 임바이나 아니 디 카르차기 요레스드 잠발라 텐숨 캬두이 체신조기 아니 찬염기 탕가디 아니 디 차디기 요르와스 다디 겐라 코랑기 다 제데 카르차스노 추제 시발라 진조디레스 추제 시발라 진조디 텐숨기 캬두이기 아니 추제 시바코도 카르레요나 아니 디 찬염기 찌조르와 디마 파브제 디 체레도와.
And let's say you do day 1 at 8 a.m. You do your 3 trials with different numbers. You get a different average, and you put that average for day 1 at 8 a.m. right here.
다 페나 차샤나 아니 간주기 아니 텐숨 체디 아니 쇼게 추제 제발 체비 원다 당스 아니 쇼게 추제 제발 체비 갑리야 아니 간주 당도 숨라 용고 와스르 만다와 던주 숨기 찬염세네 아니 야데마 아니 쇼게 추제 제바 가징아 딜레 손스네 두시네 바 팔렌시에드레스.
Right. Then you just repeat the process, 8 a.m., 4 p.m., and then at midnight. The next day, 8 a.m., 4 p.m., at midnight. So you end up with 6 numbers.
제자 딜레드 잠발라 안디 짜도 양도 두시네 체체 아니 칸다 쇼게 추지 제바 아니 추지 시바 추지 중니 다 딘데 체제 디네 양주 디 니마 제마디 두시 디 잠발라 넘버 소피게레 탕 카만다와 아니 투도지 레 용고요 와스.
And I made this so your graph will be computed automatically.
제자 아니 넘버 디 아니 스웨차베 젤리야 아니 넘버 그 페리지오라 페리디 코란 코란 랑기 두시네 아니 랑디기 토네 판드로샤게레스 토용고레스.
So for example, if I erase all these numbers from all the different days, the graph disappears, right?
페나 차샤나 카르레스도 삼발라 페나 겐라 코랑기 단다데 장가도 주테데 마 수샤와이나 찌니 수 사모 수샤도 삼발라 아니 피게기 아니 간주 피리기 토네 넘버 요션조디 코나 예로고도 아스.
And let's say I start making my numbers. So day 1 at 8 a.m., I end up with an average of 89. Let's just suppose that, right? I put 89 on day 1 at 8 a.m. And the first point will be added on the graph. Then I just keep going with my new numbers at 4 p.m. Let's say I get 87, right? And the graph will start to be built.
제자다 딜레드 잠발라 페나 차샤나 겐라 코랑기 아니 쇼게 추즈 예발라 아니 디데직 토네 페나 차샤나 아니 제주 차구 임바차샤 찬냠구 토네 디 장도나 루피게 레피리나 루야 토마드 자티네 마 아니 이바디 두스마 루인데 잠발라 아니 피게 피리디야 아니 코랑 랑디기 토네 두시네 레 용구도 와스.
So I'm just coming up with different averages. Let's suppose these are my averages throughout the 2 days. And if I were to have these numbers, then this is what my graph, the oscillation for my pulse rate would look like.
제자 딜레드 삼발라 코랑기 피게 니마니기 단다 아니 피게 센제 체제 디기 찬염디 차도도 와스 디수법 윈데 삼발라 아니 피게 피리나라 테인디 삼발라 아니 군조기 단다야 야만 파자기 넘버디 시투도 와스 피리기 토네 넘버서.
So here is my thing today. Starting tonight, you will be making your graph with different numbers. So tonight, what time is it down there right now?
Now it is maybe 9 or 9 가주래도 주제. Go to 9 p.m. here now.
Fairly close to midnight. So right before midnight, before you go to bed, get your average, right? And that will be the first point within your graph.
That number so dile December and choose chung last stop picking nalola that choose chung that ha new object was that this December and pick choose chung ni nalola tang and so piri nalo luya thoma de and choose chung ni saying choose chung ni kalia and it change che chang do jorba or di thoma de luya the chat your rest.
Since you're starting tonight, you could make this day 1 and you could change it to 12 a.m., basically midnight, right?
Yes. That deal with Sambala, that Rini number on go to you into any you get Tambo di any Tambon goes ready, any choose shogi choose the Java Sablia, and choose Jungi Stishana, and Tagarwa study.
Okay. And then you could do the next trial when you wake up at 8. You'll have another set of numbers. And day 2, it would be 4 p.m.
Ani di into Sambala, ani this Sada Sani Shoge Kajadi, and show DJ, this Sani Shoge choose the Java Kajache, the Nimaniva the Chalugi or what the any somebody any choose Javane Shiva, any enjoy the name of Korajan and watches.
And then just continue with the timing before we meet back on Monday.
Cheza dile di Sambala, ani Muntuiche, and Anzo Dingi, choose saying choose Juni Jorwa, Nimani, or Dig, some Malepado, and Anzoya Muntuni Dusine, Andrea rest.
So this is what your numbers should look like.
That the any number so any under the anyway did dosing a leg of your rest.
And 4 p.m. So go ahead and change in your Excels the numbers, and here's what they will look like. You start tonight, and you keep going until we meet on Monday.
Chesa the numbers of current so piggy anything within our part and Juatan said this Sharosis that did dosing get Tongo your rest.
And when we meet back on Monday, you're going to be able to show us what your graphs will look like.
Chesa dile di Sambalan digi any sa dawale number so Anzole any pirin the desig any 22 which so go your rest spirit.
Are there any questions?
And number so del chigi anjig Tiwanda within the KUS.
So we all know how to get our pulse either to the neck or the wrist. We're going to do it 6 times over the next 2 days. We meet on Monday, day 5. We're going to get our results and we're going to share our results.
Chesa that number so any Karsagore, Tananganzo in Pazet zo Kande logo you may di Hakosawache, the name Tanda Zig and Rodanj Doa, di Hakosawache, the Indit Sambala, that's Sadawang Nimangawala, and number so good Tumre delay into Sambala, and Anzo dos in Yamjuche, instant and alone.
We're good? Are they good?
Yeah, we are good. Yes, good.
You want to do a more exercises to make sure that we're good, or are we good to continue?
And number so Tanda Anjuti Jonda Sudi, any Piri now the Chego Sarve, Yamaranzo, Muntune Mans in the Drosha as Kacha and the Dron Disarva. Yeah, I think we can continue the class.
Perfect.
Teachers.
Okay, so if there are any questions, just let our translator know and he can ask me and I'll be able to help you. But in 2 days, on Monday, I expect several groups to come up with their numbers and their graphs to be able to share.
That number so any so the any current or Sad Dawala that Pirin the Daisy King Resta Kanda Koran Kerevala Dija US Ruga Kashik Nalone. That's how many Kiguya insert that.
And in case you are wondering, I just realized when I sent the file, I sent it Karma. Let me put it right in the chat. Hold on 1 second. Let me save this.
You send it to Karma. It's okay. They do have the Google link, and I think most of them use the use the link, and then they found the documents.
You can also have the Excel here.
Yeah.
I just realized that I sent it to Karma with a private message.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just put it in the chat, so you also have the Excel. You could do either one. All right, so let me go back to my PowerPoint here. Let me share. And in case you're wondering, you may be wondering how I came up with this activity.
That number two, any
What I did was I actually researched how astronauts are measured before they go into space. And these types of activity are actually done by NASA with their astronauts.
아니 게랑 코랑기 냠시 제바 인스 냠시 제두 삼발라 아니 간주 베나 지기는 소요르와 안든주 제디 안치기 잠수기 요르와 다든주 제디 안 코랑조기 직 센제 다우치 라바도 아니 직 남리바 대 안에 나사기 남리바 든주 제디기 아니 센제 제야 다우치 데 직 총송스.
So you're
essentially auction measured in the auction, you said that, right?
Yeah, so you're essentially doing an activity that astronauts do before they go into space, which is really
yes.
So we are done with the pulse data. We should know what to do at this point. Now we're going to go into our next activity, which is a little bit more complicated. We'll go through it slowly.
아니 다 넘버 조 아니 가려 하고 살을 잠발라 단당가 조 아니 장도 두에 다 가르성 파제게 로아데 저리 하고 살바스 다 디네 마가 조 야 림바 셴바 찍는 루긴스 림바 셴바 디 텔레티스 시게 안고뇨 안다 우조레스 이네 다 시랑고뇨 고요 마레스.
All right. So for this activity, we're going to call it the awake activity.
당한주 디기 제고들 갈라고 그랬을 때 잠발랑아주 니 세바 조라 세비 제고세 디 차데기요스.
You don't need to take your pulse. You don't need to do anything to your body, but this is going to be an activity based on brain function, how your brain is functioning.
제자다 디기 제고디 가르치고 요르스도 잠발라 현황기 아니 라베기 치다 아니 지기 깨기 니기 파자딘데 진지 제고야 가요 말레스 조디 가와라 시주고 요르스도 잠발라 간조 레베기다 첼레 칸데 딜 시주네 간조 진지 제 차데기 요레스.
And again, this type of activity is done by NASA with their astronauts to make sure that they are stable in their sleep-awake cycle.
네, 그죠. 디르다 astronauts 잠발 단당가주디 아니 나사기 단다 페나 차시나 아니 지금 남리야 딘데 남리 아니 롱엔딘데 요르와 아니 군주 텐주 테디 아니 베게 고유 만다와진데 렌두디 잠발라 아니 군주 고주디 딱다 요디바지 덴자가라 수고 요르와 아니 군주 디간라 딘데 심주치기 요레스.
All right. So for this activity, we're going to learn how to measure our awake level. And we're going to use a different type of activity. Again, I'm going to put the Excel as well on the chat.
제자다 딜레드 잠발라 디나노 가주 가르치에레시드 잠발라 아니 가주 닉세비기 아니 치 가르치고레 네법 만다와 두시니 진지 체레스 디 진지 체야려야 아니 가주 단다디 체고 단데베기 아니 단다야 게나 코랑기 딘데 타야 주스.
So let me get the chat. I'm going to put the activity. Find it. Wait, activity copy. 1 second. I'm just finding our activity here. Give me 1 quick second. ETSI 27 afternoon. Okay. So here is our wake activity. You can also go into the Google Sheet link that is posted on the classroom. Either one will work.
제자 넘버 2 단데 디 아니 요 단당가주 구글 게 트라지주와 트라지 디간란 로션에 다가라 디 라용 거레스 야메나 단당가주 디나로 땅송와 디 트라지 요네 트라지 나로 다가라 패션에 디거.
Okay. So let's go ahead and either open the file on your computer or let me get rid of this for 1 second. Okay. And I'm going to walk you. So let me go, let's see which one will probably work better. Okay, I know what to do. I'm going to open up the file, which is right here. Okay. So in this activity, we have 3 rows of numbers.
제자다 나바주 디나로 카리요레 수디 삼발랑 안주 피게 단다 간주게 숑티 소로지 텐데기 카 솜실레 되기 두아스.
Okay. The numbers are 1. So there are 50 numbers and there are 3 rows. So 1 through 50, and then there is 1, 2, and 3 rows.
제자 딜레드 잠발라 아니 간주 아니 안게 가르스고레 디바도 요레스 가르스와 납주 셰바도 요레스 다디야 아니 테네 납주 셰 찍네마 납주 셰와체 테네마 아니 간주야 아니 숑디도 부지 송간 레디기도 와스다.
The actual activity is to take each row one at a time, and you're going to by hand, not with a calculator, but by hand, going to count 1 row at a time, and then you get your final number.
제자 딜레드 잠발라 단다 간주 디네마 아니 코랑기 롤러기도 인유다단 트레티 숑티 소로부지레도 다 디네마 아니 두시네 장가 락바랑기 두시네 락바 투기시네 두시네 장가 시드웨레스 칭니마 니니 만툰드웨조라 아니 미겐 타메기 장 동부조라 디카젤리기도 타야데레스.
Right? So then you spend a couple of minutes counting all these numbers, right? And then you put them at the bottom.
제자 딜레드 잠발라다 디네마 안게 망부시도 디게 넘버 리네마 파치네 안두스 찌치네 아니 미게 까망가스 패진 건도 까까마 가진 고그르와 디네 넘버 저 미게 아니 돔토드라 용그르와스 돔란디.
Right. After you count it, then in the second space, you basically sum it on the Excel to make sure you are correct.
디 넘버 저게 아니 초랑기 아니 아이네 말라 락바 두스마 칭니마 테제 장가치 사베제기 돔란디다 안딘 디 유메디 타야라 아니 야 넘버 저 남지 마이크로소프트 엑셀 기 나노 코라 랑구기 토네 돔용에 조르와 디 페제 탄젠 디미두 파 두랴 디 체고요레스.
And then you also measure in time how long it took you to count each row. So the first
락바도 넘버 저 디나노라 양치 개체와지 가르 아니 투나나고 요레 라바이바이나 이네마 미겐 안경 고네 미겐 타마 말레바도 dom비기 아니 dom라 말레바도 튜인 가진 고유메 튜인디 인지민지 두시네 가진 고유메디야 넘버 저 녜바체 고요레스.
For example, the first row took me 76 seconds to measure, to count.
제자 페나 차신다 겔라 코란다우지 차샤와이나 아니 피게 숑디 당부이 나노게 안게 차사마 도메알라 안 투지 고제 더우지 바이마이나 가자 둔지 둔두지 좀 고송스.
And then you repeat the process 3 times with each.
제자 디 아니 제단디 아니 안주 짜드 아니 차숨을 제구요레스.
And once you have your 3 trials, and each one you measure, so the first one took me 76 seconds, 68 seconds, and 62 seconds.
제자다 넘버 저기 디 아니 림반 마즈노 숨도 사비젤이야 아니 단다 당부딩아 가자 가진 곳이라와이네 둔주 둔두체 니바디 돈발라 가자 아니 가진 곳이라와이네 투주레제체 데네마 아니 가자디 투주레니 두시는 거아지레 데샤스.
Okay. So once you have your 3 numbers, your 3 measurements, you get an average, automatic average here.
아니 넘버 2 단다피기 아니 림바카 숨기 돔란데 레차베 제레야 아니 디네 디숨기 차념고 토네 지진은 아주 차념고 탄데라 용거로 왔어.
And you put each average from each cycle in your data, right? And again, we're doing it 6 times over 2 days.
제자 딜레드 삼발라 아니 타가라 아니 아주 아니 단지는 신직 아니 이게 차념게 돔지들레 레인도 삼발라 아니 아주야 카 주나노라 아니 디마 루고 차디기요레스.
So let's say the first one you do tonight is going to be at midnight. Then you're going to do 8 a.m., 4 p.m. Again, you do it at midnight, 8 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Ta pena chashana ta tari nga zungo zuwe di eni sen chuzi chungni tolin bache, tine sanyi shoge chuzi ye bache, chuzi shi bache, yan sen chuzi chungni che, taga na ta tanji da chibu chinya redwa.
And then you'll have all your averages throughout the 6 trials, and your graph, again, will be automatically computed for you. So now, what?
Chezan da di number zoge de rimba di ani ka true di chasanji ani true service jeli ya ani kyorangi piri gi thone ani pige khora ani rangji gi thone tanda di yama parsha gi number di into sine ngoy yong yo res.
Right, and then when you put your numbers here, your graph is computed, and you could see your brain activity throughout the different times of the day.
Chezan da di le di sambala ani number zo pige gi tanga de si pige le ani le indi sambala ani kyorangi da chig lebe gi chelo jorwa chele jorwa chele da di gi gi thone jab lebe gi chele gi pige an number di ani yam parsha di pige piri khale ya do sine to yong yo res.
One thing I need to teach you is how to make new rows of numbers.
How to make what?
A new row of random numbers.
New?
Yes. So basically, when you make your rows in Excel, there is a very easy formula to make them.
Chezan dile di sambala chi khare si di sambala number zo pigi nala exact nalo la tananga zo shungti da dine sawa suye jorwa. Or this.
Because you notice each row has 50 numbers, 1 through 9, but they're completely random. So let's say I want to make a new row.
Ta pena chashana kandire si di sambala da number zo din nalo ala ani angi ngabju thamba yuwa de ha ine ma ngabju padu yuwa de ha gu yores. Ta di dridan de zo chedi ani chi ngeme gi thone di sha yores. Ta di ani nganzo yanjo chi gi thanda shungti yang sawa ji kesi sugi labe wanda thamba inas.
So I go, let's say this is the first trial, which was at midnight tonight, right? I finished. So I want to make my new rows for 8 a.m.
Ta pena chashana gena korangi da tirin sen chuzi di chungni chewache di tu sawache ani nganjo yanjo ani pa sujo tanale yanjo sawaji sewan danas.
You go to make a new row of random numbers, you go to the top, number 1, and you put equals random between.
Ani number zo da pigile tambu nganzo sawaji sewala an tambu angi tambu de sache tinema ani roll number de che dini ni paru du sin che gu yores.
And mentors, perhaps you can help our groups figure this out. You put random between 1 and 9. This is the lowest number and the highest number.
Ta dile de sambala dini ni paru khare se de sambala angi ani chigi tambu gi angi nalo yeshin jogi ani tosho te da ani masho ni gi paru gi kima jorwa da dire ta tosho de masho de tambu dan tosho di ani guwa de cha de gi yorwa.
You press enter and you get a random number between 1 and 9.
Cheza dile de sambala ani kachona so enter dine shamba yimba ina ani dine number ani guwa da ani tambu ni gi paru gi da ngeme gi ang dile ngu yores.
And then from here, you have your formula. You basically drag this down, you click this, and you drag it down all the way to number 50.
Chesa dinde ji suet sabe jelia ani koranzo gita ige gan ma tik de bet kora wol ma pado ten shaba yimba ina.
And now, my friends, you have your new row for your next set of trials.
Chesa dile de zambala ani koranzo lo tanda shungti sawa ji ra sawa resta dinana nemba angi de sering emek don chu yungu do dini ni paru kima de chanja le yungu do ani koranzo lo shungti sawa ji le sa resti yan andre jema sawa ji do ya tanda.
So let's say for 8 a.m., we go back to our second row, equals random between 9, another one, drag it down.
Tadi tanji da cheda cheban chiba chinya re shan yanjo di andi shungdi niba ji soya che di dia di cheba yimba ina.
And you do it 3 times for your new trial, right? Equals
Cheza trial sawal din rudi sambala ani nganzo di cha sum che gu yor wasta di ani shungdi ma sun di sum zi to che phanthi di le sum shungdi le sum.
And very important, please listen to this particular step.
Tan number so ani da di ke chimbu ji ani di tis che nyero chis.
when you make your 3 new rows for your new trials, before you work on them, you have to grab them all. Okay, copy them, and then paste the values.
다 number so that dizugi ni dizu tanda nga zu shungti sum syo sagirwa an dizu te dam ani dam sa vejelia kora tanda digi ani koran zu value khari yore se che gin rodan shdo excel na la and the value dizu te che gu yores.
If you don't copy paste the values because they are under a formula, the numbers will continuously to be randomized and they will change.
Could you repeat that?
Yes, if they don't copy paste, the numbers will change over time. So we don't want.
The number so dig any karsugore any pigi value do jirin ching me ba imba ina any korangi nangi angejor ba dizu te any jinjuan rugu sare.
Okay. So once you have your 3 new rows, you are ready to start counting them. And you literally count one by one, and you start the clock, and you measure how long it takes you to count each row.
Cheza delu di sambala da di row so di sambala number so dinema ani changa chigi chigi cheje ani re kaji yume ani tuju kaji chenji cheje di chegu yores.
So you put at the very bottom here your response from your paper. Then you do here, you actually do it on the computer to make sure that you are correct. You sum them all up to match your response.
Da delu di sambala dinema migel chigi jabani dine korangi nendaj do di ani sama dom she di she sir.
So the number that you did on paper should match this number, otherwise you do it again, right? You measure it again. And then you put the time that it took you to solve this row.
Cheza delu di sambala da dig nala number kare tuyo mate da ani number so gi jabje pa dini ni domi ki domlan da chigwa legu yor was dini ni nalon and dine tuju kajung go yumi di she.
And then from here you start this, let's say it's 8 a.m. We get our 3 numbers, we get an average, and you put that average as data point for here.
Chezanda nganzo tin pena chashana ani chuzu chungni ni gozu wada chuzu jebang gozu ba khanda dine ba nganzo ani chik chanyam ge ange jira yong yor wasta chanyam gu thone modu zure dus ne tsiya tanji de chiba chinya resha.
So let's just sum this up here just to get a value.
Ta dige chazan dom tine nganzo khache gu tsin value se gu do.
And we can also sum this one up to get the value. Okay. And let's just pretend that we did this. And let's say this one took me 82 seconds. This one took me a little bit longer, 95 seconds. And this one took me 100 seconds, right? Let's just pretend these are the values that we got.
Cheza dele di sambala da number so pike ki dom she di chain di sambala da value do di domdan da brodele yong yor wa di ha go sabe jelia ani tene ani di thangbu de nga kacha ani di dombala kaja je chening go so chiglia gubju kongang go so chile jang go so se so do da khanda di nganzo khorangi chuju chen la gi yor di number so khajung go yeme di digan ko go yor wa.
Right. So let's say that these are our 3 numbers, then you average your numbers in seconds, and you take an average by getting your average. You get these 3 numbers, you get a value, and you put the value. Let's say this one is from 12 a.m. and here we put 92, and our graph will start with that.
Chezanda number so pena chashana da ige kacha khazu thing sung na lol de zute de pa chanyam go gwe chen tine nganzu da value jira yong yo ra ta chanyam ge dom to de khari imba ina an dip ge pa gwe ani du sine ani chuju manda wana jegu du sambala an tenzul pa be ge en khorang ge piri jik du sine to yong du wa.
And that's it. So why don't we get together with our groups, try making your new rows and maybe practice counting them. to see how long it takes you. And we'll do this for about 15, 20 minutes.
다 number 2 당디 종다 제주에르다 디 아니 domdanda 주제데 칸데 참바 가진 거 위에 까머지 정하지 디시에 인스타 견서.
So let's try practicing this.
디 종다 가시 제로 시스타. 디 엑셀 페이지 당 싱게 메나 아니 당 마싱에 두고 싱게 두고 마싱에 두고 라브로치다. 칸데 페이지 당고 위에 두고 캐나 number 2. 아. 디 겐 싱규야 네. 겐 도시 사무 싱규야. 단다디 맹아디. number 2 단다디 아니 녜메게 안단데 세단데 신수에 징니 구버루 디 네임세 아니 이네마 텐샤바 임바이나
If there are any questions, let me know and I'll be able to help people out with their graphs.
A little bit, hard time to find the equation that you use to find the random number between the 1 to 9.
If you, I'm gonna open a new one, right?
Just number so, tanda random get sedan doa di hamagona genla korang anju stunge insa chilu chedande lole kala number so de anju see we na yes.
Okay, so you go here, you take your first row. And let's say, we have 1 through 50. So we could equals.
That tangbo di kala equals se di wo de change sambala random between.
R-A-N-D between.
Rand between. Tenema ti pege shungti tangbo ange tangbo yesan rand between la the name tene ani kanzu ge kurta se jab.
And then we put the two ranges, 1 which is the lowest, comma 9 which is the highest. Close the parentheses.
Cheza dana ani anju di ange chi ani comma gu ani parentheses dana ngazu kurta di jab.
And then we get our random number, and then all.
Yes. That ngeme ge number sinda that di man ten share da kana. Di ninju cha sa da. Gubju mi ngabju padan the. Up to 50, okay. That di ran di sir. Tambo di yesane equal sikche ani tinema random between la che dinema anu kurta shidwa kurta dinene ani ange chi comma 9 ani diche equal.
And then don't forget, you have to grab the numbers, and you have to copy paste in order to not have the numbers change, right? Paste special values.
Paste special balance.
Values. Otherwise,
could you repeat that once again? Number so yanju chik chedan jorwa di jelia tananga jo value chedan do dita number so. Yes, could you repeat that once again?
Absolutely. So we have values, right? And I'm just going to go just drag, grab all the and you go to copy.
Edit copy.
And then paste special.
Paste special edit and draw.
Values.
Ne.
And what that does is that it fixes the number. Let me show you what happens if you don't copy paste.
The D category is the picking number does trade any Tavacha did do Sarwa or D numbers of the Cherochis.
We make a new row with a random numbers. We go to 50.
And you roll Sawa Chejora. D numbers of Tanji Tuna Cherochi love so paste the
all random numbers based on the formula, but let's say we don't copy paste, right? The moment I add a new number in a new row, see how the numbers change? We don't want that. We want the numbers to be fixed. Right?
As a number of pick number Lu in the number Susan in Juan do Ding as Chong Kalso, the Chong Chogio Maris, the Midi Sambala, and Tanji Gala Korangi, Chick Damsoa, Tanda to any copy, any in the pace special, and the name any Tandangazu Dikan Rosa, any Velujigan Dindroswa, or the name than the Chegu, rest the Chesa, any Tada Koran, the Didu, rest
values. And now, once we copy paste values, the numbers are fixed, they do not change. The way that this formula works is if you put the formula, the random between, and you press enter, the numbers change. So we have to fix them.
Ani khala sambaranga di majeba yimbaina ange sembalu in sambar paju den juwa dogu di mandro ache chegu res.
What you can do, which is what I showed before, is make your 3 rows, right? You make your 3 rows between 1 and 9. Drag down. And to save time, just grab the 3 rows all together and then copy paste all together.
This special the value nation and
now they're all fixed.
Number so any Tuzis Kavag Tuzin Tola Mandra Tanda Tambu Sum, the random sum, column sum, Shunti sum Nalatse, says Savage Sunga de part select and Tinema, and a copy nanon draw, copy ne, any special selection draw, special selection at Tineba value nanon draw, and value ne any clicks at
My friends, I knew this would be a slightly more complicated assignment. It took me a little while to understand this myself.
Yes, and that the is you know Sabu again Kora the Chendala to the Kanan consumption do sin songs
which is why I'm spending most of the time working on this activity.
Jim said Gala Kora get to see much any Pigela Tinzim Control Galatan, the US that the Zuti Mambo or one.
So keep trying making your random rows, and once you get them all fixed, try counting. It should take you anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes to count each row.
Cheza any numbers of the inji tanga 0 cheese Kazun Gogu Yume, any the inji and Tuzo Kazun Gogu Yume that the name are real.
We're making great time. We have about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And the rest talking about this activity. I have a few more things to talk about, but not many. And I know that this is not easy. And it's very unfortunate that I'm not there with them to do it in their computer, right?
The values and how was
Let me ask you, when they work with Excel, are the formulas in English or what language are they in?
Yeah, English.
English, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, I can see them building their rows. Just don't forget to copy paste special because the numbers keep switching.
Number so tanda the copy paste change do the any majeru cheese tanda ganzu copy any special paste special dinema value change wa Di majewa cheru chis. Chida maa che yagu che de shas.
And don't forget, you're doing an activity that astronauts do in NASA.
Cheza number so kyoran so karir students yo go chi khar re sidi sambala thanda kyoran so go che de di ani namri badu zure NASA ge namri badu zugi taje che de gi ores kyoran so. Yes.
So it's meant to challenge your brain and to see how awake you are.
Cheza dile de sambala kyoran gi ani lebala ani lega khande chigi yeme kyoran ani lebe gi ni sebe gi ta thongri di khajen du mundu da dile ya challenge de gi ores ta khanda di khaje yeme ta yong go ores.
Are they? Do you think they're getting this?
Yeah, they are working on it.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes, in a group and
I can see them building the rows.
di chezan pes ko bi chen yuan ru man la san pes ko bi chen be pes ko bi value che di yes dinzu sumga select chida tambo sumga ro sumga select chida sumga selection digor da sumga manten da bet kona ma sama ba angeng abju ba manten da.
Let me ask you, how much work do they normally do in Excel or PowerPoint in their classes normally?
Not very often, not very frequent. The kobi sida, it is no kobi sida. Okay, kobi neerwa. Tadi the enjo di ne sudi ne enjo, sudi ne da. Pest chesa jora. Azi pagi di shi juju mare chi. Pagi di mashi je ne special pest na dong. Dige sunga enjo domra sama mante. Okay, diba disha. Okay, ta kobi ne. Kobi danji di kobi chesa rwe. Danji kobi ne ani enjo di pest che jo. Pest special jo. Dine ma value na sushan. Kawado values only in a dim by patient in and out. That none, then patient room, you room. Then Angi chick in the shaman in the patient you do that. There's some cherva. And the Kuran Koran to this marriage. Kuran is you did that. Okay.
How's it going?
Copy any paste space is special. Okay, value. That the symbol you do there. Number chicken de do. Yes, it's working. Yes, it's going quite well.
Good. I'm very happy. Yeah, I knew that this activity would take a little longer to.
Yes.
But again, I want to challenge them and do something exciting and really allow them to brain activity.
So they're still stuck with learning the Microsoft, Excel, and they haven't started counting the rows yet.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Just have them practice making your random rows, copy paste values.
Yeah. Copy paste.
Once they get the rows, counting is just very easy, right? Just doing that on paper. That's not a big deal.
And number so tanda di ane nganzo ane shungti dan triti tanda di ma angir chik ra sabe jelia ane changa susu tia jua di dongo gyorda ine ma chik bada khajin go yeme 아 di sunga damra okay ngabju badche da kobi che da na edit na non ndemenda lesa da edit na kobi let ne 당부 dine mangabju bad chi ngabju bad le me 당부 dine mangabju ban theme da dini ni de ban theme sir shibju shigu ma 당부 de theme sir 당부 sudune di dine mangabju bad theme me sir ma shengabju 당감주 있는 지 지금 다 제로 지당 하고 있는 지 단다 받디 받지 제가 쉽시고 받지 ता दिने मा एडिट की तना दियो खर्च एडिट कॉपी लेजो एडिट ने चिंगनेम शावरा कॉपी से कॉपी गलने कॉपी हां अनि स्पेशल तना दिन तना दिन दिन आने जो शिडू दा खंडे न ते कॉपी एडिट दिनेम दा स्पेशल दिने बाद वैल्यू होने नेम इन थागा दा जोडू माने जोडू दे Dugumare. Between one mare two mare one to which na anga one tier ba
mare low to high sera one che any high so 9 session ra
okay ni chuge the low the need be
na low the need
ana inju the kono chene ange tambo ka chesa
ana tambo ni ana ni one session na ya e kha du ra ya one session mare nga lowest ni shamba
okay Hendrik so dama kul dam dinga phajin jo ndo minda copy paste che di insert jam
I hear a lot of laughter.
Yeah, they're just so they're just some of other monks are testing their skills of adding numbers, how fast they can do, and some of them are just stucking. Yeah. 카자흐스탄 안주로가
coffee chera coffee na dro ra coffee ra ni paste na dro ra
Paste special dinner ba value special value the value
only ra dan jumas
dan you that ta dagare din da kare da
Can I have you? Yeah. अरे भाई तुम
아니 단도 디리 넘버 2 양 카시지기 단다 디 dom다데 싱규 유마다 dom다데 싱규에 디야 넘버 2 게라 넘버 싱게 주 파주 디 러브로 체나 미게 오디 엑셀 코란 칼라 domdan jorwa diya mambuji 싱규 유마레 samabche jorwa di 다 코란랑 오토매틱 dom시오 이제 눈주담 없는 검질이라 원데 디니 두레튼다 제자 넘버 2 디 코란기 마이크로소프트 나노라 응원에게 장도 가질레 미 domdan joa 디 넘버 2 nge guyorda domdan de 원데 레 게나 카시 고추 게나 넘버 2 고추그와 니 두조 마 도메아데 so copy paste any value conversion digor value oni ne nda dan juwa dugmare simbad dugman random de
How's it going? We have a few more minutes. I just want to make sure that everybody's standing okay.
takama kashi man mindus number 2
Do you think this was a little too complicated for them?
no they are getting it very well
Excellent.
yeah. Yes,
Very happy to hear. So maybe in a minute or two, I just want to end the activity. And obviously, if there are any questions, you can always email me and let me know if there is something that I can do before we go through their data on Monday.
Sure. Okay. Tan number 2 ani chegudi page dinde chin samsha ani nganzo ya number 2 tiwa do tinde yoba imba ina ani genla korala ani tus tan indigus
Before we end, we have about 5 more minutes. I have literally 2 more slides to show, not much.
Yeah, shall we stop their activity and you want to continue the remaining?
I literally only have 2 slides that will end today's session. So we can give them another minute. And then I can.
Okay. Number 2 tanda mutune kama chingni nana degrees gen korala tanda slide chingni ma la mesa. Kama kashi choran so thara.
What? Arma, are you listening to all of this?
No. So they are just counting the number and just.
I think this was a good activity, challenging enough to make them really, really work, and not too easy, so it makes them really learn Excel, right?
Yeah. It really makes them, engage in,
Yeah.
deeply. And yes, as you said, it is not too hard, but it's not that easy.
It's not super
So,
easy.
yeah.
So my friends, if I could just have your attention for 1 second, I'm just going to finish. We're almost out of time.
No, number so again la Quran liya that dus antona jitiru cheese ta khashijik la isare. La so number so. Gengele.
Sure. Quickly share my screen here. And I literally only have 2 more slides to finish today's activity.
Gela Quran la tanda digi thiringi lobzen judia liya ani slide ngui madala mes.
So you'll be doing your rows, 3 rows per trial at 6 different times before we meet on Monday.
And number so kari yore sidi sambala da ngazo dine ma ani thidi dawji shungdi sum te ani chadu ge thone desine and da ngazo digu yores sadawala.
Okay. And when we meet on Monday, I do want different groups to share their graphs with us, and that way we can really visualize the different cycles around the different groups.
Cheza ani dine number so kari thugu yore sidi sambala ani choran zur ani ge Suzuki pigegi Tangto di any rig to your zeta to your tone to your rest. Dinde di an incident no manda you somebody to the pa any Rugaruka Nyamjis.
So we're going to try to build our data sets. We're going to measure our solving ability. And really, in essence, we're measuring our brain activity when we wake up, during the day, and before we sleep.
Cheza tanda dodo kharla yore sidi sambala tanda di cherim di githone and it's all dawdi kharre lana nganzo and chig lebe gi ta chig phige gi che lebe gi chele gi nuban dawje te ane chig nis sewa da manye wa da ane digi an chig paru thwa da khanda lebe gi ni se bi kap gi lebe gi chenle gi ane che dawjor wa di chenji chi bi so dawje res ta khanda dig nizu de nganzo te yung yores.
So on day 5, on Monday, after 2 days of doing your different trials, we're going to share our data, right? And we can even ask if there are differences between the groups in how their brain functions in different times of the day.
Chesa dile di sambala da nima ngawa dila ngaran sogi ani tangdo duzute di paatsu ani dus nyamju che ani ruka mandawa nano la ani ta mandawa yunguru was ta di kuranzo ani leba mandawa yutone ani nizu kande mandawa yungudu da di nganzo durya di chati kiyo res to kanyo se like lebi ki se mandawa tuzo.
I know this wasn't the pulse one was easy. This one was not that easy, but I want to challenge you all, and I want you all to really get experience in Excel.
Chesa di number so ani churango ne da di dinde jiresha ani di an dinde jik da kanda durya jora phazu denzu kan le number so su ngone ani chik khar se gore dilia ani dongne khapte chik challenge khazi chetu du dawj da dinde kan number so chero chis.
Okay, and by using Excel, we can actually test our brain function throughout our circadian rhythm, which is the whole point of these classes.
Chesa dile di sambala da ngazu tuzi jurim digi nano ala ani ngazu chigi lebe gi chele gi tse teya ani tunzin kondru gi ani shukjing gi toane da di ngazu so tandi dunta digi da jangshik nimbu dawo di cha digi yor was.
And this, my friends, ends today's class. Just know if there are any questions with how to make your rows or anything, let the mentors know. They will contact me and I can meet with them and help as much as I can.
Chezanda teringi enin zindegi tuyindi tagaran dosi ne truba ins en number so tanda di inema shungdi dan chedi soya dan debegi ne tewa yoba imba ina an gyala Quran la ani chigi nyunti gi june rewa che imba ina gyala Quran gi kadu ina andi ramde che ya ani towa yes.
I hope you all have fun doing this activity, doing your pulse activity. That's the whole point. We want to engage, have fun, learn some science, and really test ourselves.
Chezanda dili sambala number so thering ani nganzu chegu pena chashana ani phangza che dinde da thanda di ani chegu du thede mangbu jores ani nganzu di da nyamdo ani chigi towa je yoba che ani seri jan je yoba che ani dinde da so di cha de yes ta kanda.
And my friends, with this we can end.
Ani da di da ani lendo ani nganzu thering zinda thagana ti ju de yin number so.
That's it.
Yes. Thank you.